Sit comfortably, start to settle into the space. I noticed something was different. Yeah, there they are, okay. Start to bring all of your awareness into the room. And first, just by tuning into everything you hear with your ears. At this moment, excluding anything else, just tune into the fans. You can hear the fans humming, very neutral sound. And now see if you can just exclude everything else and just tune into the music. It's kind of soft, but try to hear it. Good. Continuing to bring your awareness into the room. Noticing if you can detect any fragrance in the air. Noticing the temperature of the air on your skin. And now bring all of your attention to your own physical body. Noticing how your feet are placed on the floor. Attention now to the position of your ankles. So in your mind's eye, following along, what position are your ankles in right now? Awareness of your lower legs and your knees. How are your knees feeling? Attention to your thighs and your hips. By focusing our awareness so intensely on our own physical body, it will help us keep our body safe throughout the entire practice. So no matter what it is that I say to do, if it doesn't feel okay, don't do it. From your comfortable seat, allow your awareness to rise up, noticing the muscles of the back, noticing the position of the shoulders and your arms, awareness of your hands and how they're placed and what you feel with your hands. Good. Noticing now the muscles of your neck. Relax all the muscles of the face. Good. You can stay in Sukhasana or join me in Virasana, hero pose. If this doesn't work, it would be okay to put some blocks underneath of you to bring you up a little bit higher. And then once you're there in Virasana, tuck your tailbone just a little bit. Pull your shoulders back, relax them down. Right hand on your belly, left hand on your heart. And just breathe. Just breathe regular, just for a moment or two. And as you're breathing just regular, maybe you could feel very subtle movement. Mindfully, we're going to start drawing in more air, filling up your lungs full and deep, so much so that your belly has to expand. And then you feel your rib cage expanding as well. And when you fill up your lungs full and deep, at the end, at the top of the breath, you can feel your sternum lifting. That's the 3 parts, Diyoga Pranayama. And then when you're emptying out all the air, you pull your navel in towards your spine, and you allow your rib cage to contract. And then at the bottom of the breath, you can feel your sternum dropping. I want you to go at your own pace very slowly and add in the Ujjayi breath through the nose, in through the nose, out through the nose, down through a constricted throat, slowing down the speed in which you're breathing. Now, at first, your mind is probably like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And it's fine. And noticing all the awareness being here in this moment on the breath, which is very important. Drawing the air in full and deep through the nose, down through a constricted throat, filling up your lungs, noticing with your hands the rib cage expanding, the belly expanding, and the sternum lifting. In the opposite direction, as you empty out the air through a constricted throat, through your nose, You can feel your belly draw in, you can feel your rib cage contracting, and you can feel your sternum dropping. It's an observation, it's a search, just looking for these three parts of the breath. Wonderful. Relaxing your arms out on either side of you, we can allow our legs to come out for Sukhasana, right leg in the front. Hands out on either side of you. Stay with that strong and slow and mindful Ujjayi breath. On your inhale, both hands lift up, filling up your lungs. At the midway point, your palms flip. They continue to go up. Tip your chin up. Let your hands meet right above you. That first time up, notice where there's tension and tightness. Open your arms wide. Relax your hands down. Drop your fingertips to the floor and your chin to your chest. Inhale, both hands lift, filling up fully. Open your arms wide. Empty out completely. One more time up. Palms touch. On this exhale, twist to your right. Right hand lands behind you, back of the left hand on the outside of your right leg. On your inhale, sit very tall. Imagine the crown of your head going up even higher. And then on your exhale, that's when you can start the conversation. Can I twist? Can I twist a little bit more? So it's asking the body, and the body does respond. And then you have to listen to the answer. Don't force anything. If you really just want to add to the challenge, you can deepen your breath here in this constricted area, right? The tummy is constricted because you're twisting, causing the rib cage to be slightly constricted, but still trying to breathe as full and as deep as you can. The next time you breathe in, unravel, let your arms float up and your palms touch. And on this exhale, twist to your left. Back of the right hand on the outside of your left leg. Left hand lands behind you. And when you breathe in, sit very tall. And then when you breathe out, that's when you're having the conversation. Can I twist a little bit more? Slowly unravel, breathing in. Fold forward when you breathe out. Drop your hands in front of you. Walk your fingertips away from you. Breathe deeply here. Walk your hands back towards your legs. Place your hands on the floor behind you. Fingertips are pointing towards your hips. Pull your shoulder blades way back. Super straighten your arms. Lift your heart and see if you can relax your head back. So the shoulder blades, they're squeezing towards your thoracic spine. Sit tall. Bring your hands around to the front. Anjali Mudra, noticing all the sensations in the shoulders. Lengthen your legs long. Inhale your arms up. First Paschimottanasana, don't expect too much from the hamstrings. Just feel everything that you feel. Let your hands land on your legs. Relax your head, your neck, and your shoulders. Feel all the tightness in the hamstrings. It's okay. be fully present and fully aware in your body right now and everything that you feel. Feet are flexed firmly, and maybe you can't even reach your toes, and it's fine. You don't need to right now. The next time you breathe in, reach your hands forward and then straight up. Bend your knees. Walk your heels towards you. And lift your heels off the floor just about an inch or so. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a little bit of a twist to the right. Bring your hands back to heart center and take a little bit of a twist to the left. And bring your hands back to your heart. Lengthen your arms long just for 1 second. Lift your heels really high. Lower them down nice and slow. Second Paschimottanasana. Draw your navel in towards your spine as you fold here. And just noticing the depth of your pose. It's okay if things are still tight. Take one big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, let it out. Sweep your hands forward and up. And relax your arms all the way down. And then recross your legs. Put the left one in the front. Hands on either side of you, and on your inhale, both hands go up. On your exhale, right arm lowers down, right hand to the floor, left arm goes up and over. Empty out all of the air in your side bend, and the next time you breathe in, rise up to center. Fill up your lungs fully. Palms touch. Exhale, lower the left hand down, right arm goes up and over. If it aggravates your shoulder, you can just stay in the side bend. You can not put your arms up if you don't want to. Inhaling to center. Lungs are filled. Empty out all of the air. Rise up to center on your inhale. Fold forward on your exhale. Drop your hands in front of you. Walk your fingertips away from you. And you can compare this stretch to the one when we had the right leg in the front. Noticing in the hips, in the knees, the muscles of the back, how do things feel? Sweep your hands forward and up. Relax your arms all the way down. Hands on the floor behind you. Now you can keep your legs crossed right here, or you can place your feet on the floor in front of you. Either one is fine. Draw your shoulders way back towards one another. Super straighten your arms, and if your feet are out, you can lift your hips, but you don't have to. You can just leave your hips on the floor if you want. No matter where you're at, see if you can relax your head back. If your hips are elevated, lower them down to the floor, recross your legs, bring your hands around to the front, Anjali Mudra. Hands are in prayer. Good. Rock over your knees into tabletop. First, just spread your fingers really, really wide, like overly wide. Middle fingers directly facing forward. And then go ahead and relax your hands a little bit. Wrists, elbows, shoulders, they're perfectly aligned. Hips are directly over your knees. And starting with the tailbone, flip it up, sway your back, pull your shoulder blades together, and lift your chin, filling up your lungs fully in your cow pose. Starting with the tailbone, point it down towards your knees, engage the pelvic floor, send the center of the spine up, shoulder blades spread, chin curls to the chest, empty out every last bit of air. And then move between these two poses, nice and slow and very deliberate. And if you close your eyes here, observe from within. Think about the good health and vitality of your spine, each one of the vertebrae, every one of the discs. everything back to stillness in your tabletop, and then curl your toes under. Press your hips onto your heels. In this child's pose, toes are curled under. You might not be able to go very far down towards the ground. It's okay. We're just waking up the soles of the feet, waking up the toes. Lift up into tabletop and then send your hips high, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Start to pedal your heels here. Press one towards the floor and then the other. Rise up really, really high on your toes. Breathe in deep through your nose. Bend your knees. Open your mouth. Let the air out. Bring your body back to stillness in your own most perfect downward facing dog. So, pressing into the root of your hands, the first and second finger, where your finger meets your hand, press into that. Press into the root of your thumb. And then think about the creases of the elbows, and it's a tiny little movement, but try to make them so they aim upwards. Now, if you bent your elbows, they would go straight down towards the floor. Before, maybe if you bent your elbows, they were going to go out to the right and to the left. So that's what I mean by the creases of the elbows aiming upwards. Slide your shoulders towards your hips. Relax your head through your arms. And then from your hips to your heels, it's okay if your knees are still bent. We're trying to get our heels towards the floor, but if your knees are still bent, that's okay. Separate your feet as wide as your mat, and then start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Ragdoll. So hanging on to opposite elbows, let your head, your neck, and your shoulders just hang here. Knees can be very soft. Shift all your weight into your left leg and press out through the back of the right leg. Soften both your knees and center your weight. Shift all your weight into your right leg and press out through the back of the left leg. Soften both your knees and center your weight, and now press out through the backs of both the knees. It might not be very much, but that's okay. Give your head a little bit of a nod and give your head a little bit of a shake, letting your neck be free of tension and tightness. If your hands reach the floor, go ahead and touch the floor. Heel toe or hop your feet together. Walk your hands all the way up your body until you're standing tall. Bring your hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra. Good. Tuck your tailbone, press your thighs and your hips forward, reach your hands into the air. The first good morning stretch. Separate your fingers, spread them really wide. Draw your shoulders back and pull them down. Look up at the ceiling. Standing tall, allow your hands to meet, bring them down the midline, rest them at your heart. Breathe here, in, slow and deliberate out. With more fluidity now, we're going to press the hips forward and reach the hands up and back. And then swan dive down. Turn your palms outward as you go. Folding here, point your nose towards your knees. The next time you breathe in, lift halfway, find a flat back. And then when you exhale, fold and point your nose towards your knees. Hands to the floor, walk your hands all the way to the front of the mat. Plank pose. Now from here, you can lower your knees if you want to, or you can keep your knees elevated, trying to make a nice straight line from the crown of the head all the way to your heels. And now we're all going to lower our knees to the floor. Rotate the creases of the elbows so they're aiming upwards. And when you lower your chest and chin down, but don't hit the ground, your elbows are tucked tight alongside your body. Rock forward and up in the little cobra, Bhujangasana. And lower your torso all the way down to the floor. Take one breather here, in, and slowly let it go. Peel up to tabletop. Rest your hips on your heels, child's pose. This child's pose, I'm going to keep my knees together and my feet together. My head doesn't reach the floor, so I'm going to stack my fists. Slow and deliberate Ujjayi breath here. And maybe with your belly pressing on your thighs, you could feel the back body expanding when you breathe in really full and really deep. Lift up, tabletop, curl your toes under, send your hips high, downward facing dog, pedal your heels here. Lift your right heel to hip height, and then bend your right knee. Squeeze your right heel towards your bottom on the right side, and press your left heel down towards the ground. Right foot is flexed firmly. And now we're going to open the hips. We're going to point this right knee way up towards the sky. Extend your right leg long. Now realign your hips. Step your right foot very far forward. Step your left foot just as far forward, ragdoll. Separating your feet as wide as you like. Bend your knees as much as you want. Opposite elbows into your hands. Crown of the head points towards the floor. Shifting all your weight into your left leg. Press out through the back of the right knee. Center your weight, soften both your knees. Shift all your weight into your right foot and press out through the back of the left knee. Softening both your knees, center your weight, hands to the floor if you reach, heel toe or hop your feet together. Drag your palms up your shins, lift halfway, find a flat back, and on your exhale, fold. Put your hands around the backs of your calves and point your nose towards your knees. Release your hands from around the backs of your legs and bend your knees deeply. Sweep your hands into the air, Utkatasana. Sink a little lower and bring your hands to your heart. Take a little twist to the right. Look over your right shoulder. Bring your hands back to heart center and take a gentle twist to your left. Hands back to heart center. Sweep your hands into the air. Sink a little bit lower and then stand tall. Hips and thighs go forward, hands go back. Stand tall, Tadasana, and allow your hands to meet. Bring them down the midline and let them rest at your heart. Breathe here. Hips and thighs go forward, hands go up and back, and maybe reach them back a little bit further. Swan dive down on your exhale. Nose to the knees. On your inhale, lift halfway. On your exhale, fold. Hands to the floor. Step your left foot back and step your right foot back, plank. Lower your knees to the floor. Rotate the creases of the elbows so they're facing forward. Chest and chin lower down. One big cobra. Lower your torso to the floor. Take one breath in. Slow and deliberate out. Tabletop. Child's pose. For this child's pose, I'm going to keep my big toes together and separate my knees. That way my torso drops between my thighs and I can lower my head down to the floor. Breathe here. Fill up your lungs full and deep. Open your mouth, let it go. Rise up, tabletop, curl your toes under, send your hips high, downward facing dog, pedal your heels here. Bring your body back to stillness in your Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then remember all the cues, pressing into the triad of your hand, the first and second finger and the root of your thumb, creases of the elbows are upwards, heads relaxed through the arms. Shoulders are together, slide them towards your hips. Try to press your heels down towards the floor. And now lift your left heel to hip height. Bend your knee, squeeze your heel towards your bottom on the left side. And now open your hips, so point that left knee up towards the sky. Try to press your right heel towards the floor. Lengthen your left leg long. Realign your hips. Step your left foot forward, step your right foot forward, ragdoll, opposite elbows, bend your knees as much as you want, or maybe by now you don't have to bend them as much. You can shift your weight from one leg to the other, pressing out through the backs of the knees. Hands to the floor, heel toe, or hop your feet together. Drag your palms up your shins, lift halfway, flat back. On your exhale, fold, point your nose toward your knees. Bend your knees deeply, sweep your hands into the air, Utkatasana. Bring your hands to your heart. Sink lower. We're going to take this left elbow and hook it on the outside of the right leg. Press your palms together, look up and over your right shoulder. Unravel, arms go up, hands to the heart, and twist to your left. Unravel, arms go up. See if you can sink just a tiny bit lower, and then stand tall, nice and strong legs, hips and thighs go forward, hands go back. Rise up to Tadasana, let your hands meet, bring them down the midline, and rest them at your heart. Breathe here, nice and slow in. Mindful breath out. Start to press your hips and your thighs forward. Lift your heart, arms go up, and think to yourself, I'm open, I'm receptive to you, all good. Swan dive down, exhaling as you go. Point your nose toward your knees. On your inhale, lift halfway. On your exhale, fold. Hands to the floor, right foot steps back, left foot steps back, plank pose. Lower your knees, your chest and chin. One big cobra, tabletop, child's pose. Any kind of child's pose that you like. Once you get there, breathe in really deep and let it all go. Rise up, tabletop. Let's put our blocks to the front of the mat so they're there for us if we want them. Curl your toes under, send your hips high, downward facing dog. Right heel rises, hip height. Bend your knee and open your hip. Lengthen your leg long, realign your hips. Step your right foot forward, we're going to lift up warrior one. Arms go up. Right knee is directly over the right ankle, hips are square. On your exhale, warrior two. We're going to lengthen the right leg long and we're going to reach very far over the right foot. Lower your right hand down, nice and slow. Left hand rises if you want to grab one of your blocks and put it on the inside of your right leg so your fingertips can reach something, that's fine. See if you can look up at your left thumb. We're going to lower this left hand down to meet the right, as if we were closing a book, right? Take that block from the right in your right hand and take the block from the left in your left hand. We're going to hop this left foot forward so our feet are about 18 inches apart. Now the hips were open, but we want to make them square. Start to pull your right hip back and your left hip forward. In this little pyramid pose, let's see if we can bend our elbows any amount. Point your nose towards your knees. Lengthen your arms long. Let's keep this left hand on the left block. Right arm's going to reach out and T out to the right. Let's see if we can get it to go way up into the air. Parsarita, Parsvakonasana. Lower that right hand down nice and slow and bend your elbows any amount. Lengthen your arms long. You can walk your hands up your body or bring your hands to your heart and stand tall. Feel all the weight in that right foot as you lift. Send your hands into the air. Feel all your weight shift into your left foot as you look up. Standing tall, relax your arms down on either side of you. So we're going to take this right thumb and we're going to put it on top as we interlace our fingers behind us. Okay. Pull your shoulder blades way back. Draw your elbows long and straight. Knuckles are going down, down, down. Tip your chin up, stargazer. Feel all the weight, how it's shifted into your left foot. And then we're going to start to hinge at the hips. We're going to fold forward. Now, if you want to let go and put your hands on the blocks, that's fine. But if you can keep them interlaced on your back, we'll try that. So continuing to pull the right hip back and the left hip forward, fold here. Noticing how far your body allows you to go. Don't go any deeper. Keep everything safe and keep your body happy. Once you find your own deepest expression of your fold here, relax your head and your neck, and let's see if we can lift the hands off the lower back any amount. Rest your hands on your lower back. Continue to press into that right foot and stand tall. Once your torso is upright and your head is back to center, release your hands from behind you. Bring them around to the front at your heart. Beautiful. Send your hands into the air. Feel how all of your weight shifts into your left foot. And make your way down to your mat. You might want to set these aside just a little bit. Hands to the floor. Step your feet back, plank. Send your hips high, downward facing dog. Left heel rises, hip height. Bend your knee and open your hip. Lengthen your leg long, realign your hips, and step your left foot very far forward. Lift up, warrior one. Before you lift, maybe set your blocks where you can reach them easily. Arms go up. Right hip is forward here. Turn your entire torso to your right. Lower your hands down to shoulder height, and your hips are wide open now. Lengthen your left leg long, and reach your left hand very far over your left foot. We're going to lower the left hand down, right hand rises. You might want to grab one of your blocks. See if you can look up at your right thumb. Your nice Trikonasana, your triangle pose. And now we're going to close the arms like a book. Right hand lowers down to meet the left. And now we'll take both blocks. Right hand on the right block, left hand on the left block. Shifting your weight into your left foot, hop your right foot forward. So my heels are about 18 inches apart. They are not aligned like a tightrope. Okay, so I inch my left foot to the left slightly, just so I have a broader foundation. Once you're here in your Parsvattanasana, begin to bend your elbows any amount. See if you can pull your right hip forward and your left hip back while you're folding here. Lengthen your arms long. You can walk your hands up your body or bring your hands to your heart. Feel all the weight shifted into your left foot as you press so firmly into that foot to lift up. Send your hands into the air. Feel how your weight shifts now into your right foot. Look up at the ceiling. Standing tall, allow your hands to drift down alongside your body. And then we're going to interlace our hands behind us. Put the left thumb on the top. Interlacing the hands, press the palms together. Pull your shoulder blades back and down. Knuckles drag downwards. And tip your chin up, stargazer. Bring your head back to center, and we're going to start to fold. If you want to put your hands on the blocks, you can. Or just start to hinge at the hips. Keeping the shoulders back, keeping the arms long and straight, pressing the palms together. And once you feel like you are in your own deepest expression of your fold, you can relax your head and your neck. And let's see if we can lift our hands off of the lower back any amount. Rest your hands on the lower back, and we're going to slowly lift back up again, rising all the way up. Bring your hands around to the front. Anjali Mudra. Beautiful. Send your hands into the air. Feel how all of your weight shifts into that right foot as you look up. Lower your hands down to the blocks. Right hand on the right block, left arm reaches out to the left. And we're going to start to take this left hand up into the air. Prasarita Parsvatanasana, a revolved pyramid pose. Lower your left hand down, nice and slow. Move your blocks out of your way. Hands to the floor, make your way all the way back to plank pose. Drop your knees to the floor, sweep your feet around to the front, Dandasana. So all those other Paschimottanasana, think about them for just a moment and where your body was. On your inhale, both hands go up. Pull your navel in toward your spine as you hinge at the hips, diving down, look past your toes. Let your hands land wherever they may. Relax your head and your neck. One big breath in. One big exhale. Noticing the depth of your pose. If you can reach your feet, let's take hold of the outer edges and draw that towards us just a little bit. It's okay if you're not there. If you're hanging onto your ankles, that's fine too. Sweep your hands forward and up. Relax your arms all the way down. Hands land on the floor. And then slide your hips forward. We'll take our blocks with us. Roll down onto your back. Hug your knees up to your chest and rock from one side all the way over to the other side, smoothing out the muscles of the back. But feel the entire area that's touching and pressing down onto the mat. Okay, feel that area. Noticing what area is getting the massage from the floor. And you can continue this, or you can take your first and second fingers around your big toes and rock back and forth in happy baby. So while you're doing this, if you can, maybe you notice the small of your back pressing down. So getting another area of the back, smoothing it out on the floor. Good. Bring all of that rocking to stillness and lower your feet all the way down to the floor. Open your arms up in T. And wrap your arms around yourself in a big hug. First, I'll put my right arm on the top, just hugging myself here really nicely. Lift your hips ever so slightly, and now you can feel a lot of pressure in the trapezius muscles, right? Rock from side to side here, and then if you lift your hips just a little bit higher, you can get higher up on the uppermost part of the back. And then just taking a little rock from side to side, getting across the mid-back. And you can raise and lower your hips according to how it feels for you. Pause for just a moment, open your arms wide, recross and put the other one on the top, so left arm's on the top, and then just rock a little bit more. Imagine here smoothing out, ironing out any cares or concerns, the weight of the world that's on your shoulders. Think to yourself, I'm releasing it, I'm letting it go. Breathe in deep through your nose. Open your mouth, let it out. Good. Rest your hips on the floor and uncross your arms. We'll take one of these blocks and slip it underneath the lowest part of your back, underneath of your sacrum. You can get your shoulder blades underneath of you and then send the soles of your feet right on up towards the sky. Viparita Karani is a perfect inversion. Allow your palms to be upward as well as the soles of the feet, just in a mudra of surrender. Lower your feet to the floor. And from here, if the block isn't irritating you at all, let's extend our legs long on the floor. You have a nice supported bridge pose. If it feels good, stay. If you feel like it might be better if your block was a little higher, you can put it on its second setting and then lengthen your legs long. Both feet to the floor, lift your hips, remove the block, and then lower your spine down, just one vertebrae at a time. Really, really slow until finally your hips are resting on the floor. Let your right leg open to the right and your left leg open to the left. Soles of the feet are together, Supta Baddha Konasana. If you want to take your hands overhead, interlace your fingers right above you, you look like a butterfly. Stay present in your body at this time. So noticing your one foot touching the other foot. Awareness of the position of your ankles. Notice your knees. Awareness of your hips. Is there tension? Is there tightness? Noticing now the spine from the tailbone. Noticing a little arch in the back maybe. Notice where the back of the ribs are touching the floor. Noticing the uppermost part of your back pressing into the floor. Awareness of the shoulder blades, and the arms, and the hands. What do you feel with your hands right now? How is your breath? Is it smooth? Are all the hitches and catches gone? Good. Reach down with your hands and help your knees together. As you do that, start to heel toe your feet far away from one another and keep your knees together. So now we're like knock-kneed or creating a little teepee with our legs. Lift your hips for a second and tuck your tailbone. So pointing the tailbone towards the front of the mat. Hips have a nice inward rotation. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer together and hug both knees up towards your chest. Lengthen your left leg long on the floor. Hug your right knee up towards your chest. Flex both of your feet here in Apanasana. Breathe in deep. Purse your lips and blow it out. So the feet being flexed helps engage the muscles of the legs. These last 6 poses are very beneficial for digestion and elimination. So that would apply to anything at all, right? You digest your yoga practice, you let go of anything that no longer serves you. Release the grip on your right leg and open it towards the floor on your right. Hug it in on your right side. Flex both of your feet here. Now with your left hand, take your right knee, cross it over your body, shift your hips, and relax your feet. Right arm reaches out in T, and your gaze goes to your right. If your right shoulder blade comes up off of the floor, you could press into your left shoulder blade. You might be able to get that right one to land better on the ground. And you're turning your gaze to the right. With your left hand, you can encourage the twist just a little bit on the outside of your right leg, or maybe you want to push that thigh at the thigh crease, push that away from you to lengthen, lengthening at the waist, as if you want to get the hips away from the rib cage. Slowly unravel, feet to the floor. Realign your hips. Flatten your lower back by tucking your tailbone. And draw your knees up towards your chest. Lengthen your right leg long on the floor. Hug your left knee up towards your chest. Flex both of your feet, Apanasana. Breathe in through your nose. Purse your lips, blow it out. Release the grip on the left leg. Open it towards the floor on your left and hug it in on the left side. With your right hand, take your left knee, cross it over your body, shift your hips, relax your feet. Left arm reaches out in T, turn your gaze to the left. Slowly unravel. Move slow, move gently. Feet to the floor. Realign your hips. Flatten your lower back. And then hug both knees up to your chest again. Bring your nose up to your knees. Curl up in a little ball. Gently place your head on the floor and lengthen both your legs long on the floor. Backs to the hands, they rest on the floor. Big breath in. Let it go. Rest your body in Shavasana. Very well deserved. If you want a bolster under your knees, bend them. If you want to be covered by a blanket, put your right hand on your belly. I'd be happy to cover you. In this Shavasana, I usually like to tell you that you can let your mind drift and wander and go wherever it likes to go. But instead, I'm going to direct you straight to your gratitudes. We all have many blessings in our lives, but we could just simply ignore them. You can not think about them, and you can think about the shortages or lack or anything else in your life that you want to. But now we're going to mindfully direct ourselves towards the blessings of our lives. So I am so happy and grateful for the blessings of my life. I woke up in a home that is safe, in a bed that is comfortable. There's an abundance of running water. There's food that I like. Bring to mind all the details of your own life. The faces of the people that you love, or the pets that you adore. Get right in there. Start listing your gratitudes. And in between the thoughts, as your mind is on a search, it's bringing to mind all the things that you love and adore, all of the things that you're grateful for. In between those thoughts, there's space. Add in there, thank you, thank you, thank you, or I love you, I love you, I love you. Let that little side story play as you're arriving and counting your blessings. start to bring your awareness back into the room. Noticing everything you hear in the room. Bless you. You hear the fans, you hear the chimes and the music. You hear a sneeze, God bless you. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes as you bring all of your awareness back into your body, rotating your wrists and ankles if you like. Maybe you want to reach your arms overhead. When you're ready, roll onto your right side and rest your head in your arm. Draw in a nice deep breath. Let go of a big sigh of contentment. And lift up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra. And checking in, noticing how you feel. Right side, left side balanced. Yoga calms the fluctuations of the mind. And feeling grateful. I'm filled with love and gratitude for every single one of you, and I bow to you. Namaste. Namaste. And then she'll turn to you. And turn to her. Namaste. Oh, I thank you so very much. Thank you.